let's go to Brent Musburger and Kevin Lockery. Guys?
All right, Kevin, you're KC Jones. What are you going to do now to try and hold on and get back in this series?
The key, Brent, is the outside shooting. There's no doubt about it. If you're going to play Ainge and Wedman together, you give them an awful lot of court speed. They have to make the outside shot or the Lakers run them off the floor.
If I'm Pat Riley, I get James Worthy back fast. Let's go back to Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn.
I don't think KC Jones wants that, Brent. He'd like James Worthy to take a vacation on the bench, right?
I tell you, they've had so much trouble finding James Worthy. The Celtics ought to look him up in the yellow pages out there. Under W.
The Celtics have a big edge in offensive rebounding. 15-8, and they've converted them into 19 points. But you wanted Worthy, and you got him. Worthy is up front with McAdoo and Jamal Wilkes, Byron Scott and Cooper in the backcourt, and Larry Bird begins the fourth period on the bench for the Celtics to get some rest. And a turnover as Cooper threw an errant pass to Byron Scott. So the Celtics with a 3-point lead. Kareem also on the bench, so the big guns are not all out there as we start the final 12 minutes, barring overtime. McHale trying to get it to Maxwell, still Boston ball.
They're forcing that pass on the doubles to the man going to the basket. It just isn't there. They should make the pass outside for the outside shot.
This is the fourth quarter chess game that goes on, and each substitution has a meaning as Parish misses. Long rebound to Cooper, and the Lakers are able to break, and Cooper. The foul is called. Wedman might have pushed Cooper, who was jarred a little bit.
Well, that was that foot speed that Kevin Lockery talked about by using Wedman and Ainge. It ended up almost a 4-on-1 situation. Danny Ainge must have felt like Custer. He had them all.
Foul is on Danny Ainge. That is his third personal foul. So it wasn't on the Wedman-Cooper collision, but it was on Jamal Wilkes. Wilkes was fouled by Danny Ainge. Very unorthodox style for Jamal Wilkes at the free throw line. When he was a youngster, his sister Naomi was such a good player in her own right. She used to block his shots. He had to come up with another way, and he did.
From behind the ear.
It's worked for him, hasn't it?
How much protection does an ear give you?
Celtic lead down to 1. We're in the opening minute of this fourth period. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn reporting. Parish is hit. And now the Lakers pick up their first personal foul.
But the inside game of the Celtics, Robert Parish, is taking long to develop right now. They ought to be able to capitalize with Jabbar on the bench. So they're trying to go to him to make sure that he'll count.
Parish missed the free throw. Scott's personal was his third. Kareem remains on the bench for Los Angeles. Larry Bird on the bench for Boston. Magic Johnson is also on the bench for LA. It's still Boston ball. Keep in mind now that only 4 teams have come back from a 2-0 deficit to win a best-of-7 playoff series in NBA history, and no team has ever lost the first 2 at home and come back and won. Celtics lost game number 1 at home. So a lot of meaning right here. 1 minute going by. Wedman coming around a screen and hits. Got Wedman with 8 points. So between the two of them, Ainge and Wedman have 20 points.
And now they're working to get Wedman open for his shots. That's a good sign.
Jamal Wilkes. You don't want to give him too much room anywhere. Comes inside on a feed from Worthy. He wanted it. He missed it. And now with a 3-point lead, the Celtics trying to open it up again. Keep in mind they did have a 13-point lead in the first half. That evaporated. Wedman for 3. And the rebound. And it's a loose ball foul against the Lakers. So James Worthy started a run, but hold it.
A little push from behind. A favorite little trick when you're caught out of position. As the man goes up in the air, you put a hand in his back and nudge him off the court.
And coming back in the ball game for the Celtics is Larry Bird, who said at the outset the heart and soul of the team. Cedric Maxwell gets a big standing ovation. He has scored 16 points. And that's the one thing the Celtics don't expect from him in that scoring. Done a superb job. Here's Bird working against Wilkes. 19 for Larry Bird. He's Boston's high scorer, and the Celtics lead by 5. How important are these first couple of minutes of this period?
Very, very important to establish what you're going to do, the outside shot or the inside game, and also perhaps for the Lakers to upbeat the pace of the game.
McAdoo drives in, and a Boston foul. It'll be a 2-shot foul. And now we'll have a timeout with 9:52 remaining. And the foul was on Larry Bird, his third. He doesn't agree.
Strong move by Bob McAdoo.
And the foul by Bird. The Raptors at Boston Garden. And they're cheering for the Celtics, who lead by 5. Pat Riley, who's a talented gentleman. He was a broadcaster, assistant coach. He is a creative man who uses videotape. When Norm Nixon was traded to San Diego, he got the team together and said, let's pay homage to him. He put together a very creative, with music, piece of Norm Nixon's accomplishments. I think the players appreciate him. And not only that, he has the highest winning playoff percentage in history by a wide margin right now. Pat Riley.
Great coach, in my opinion. Here's a guy that spent a little time in Boston and kind of left as a goat. Didn't kind of make it with the fans, but he certainly has made it with the LA fans, and then some.
Sure has. A great comeback story 2 years ago.
And I think he'd look like nothing better than to oust the Celtics out of this playoff.
He's the only member of the Lakers who used to play for the Celtics. He's been with 6 teams, well traveled, but he's happy now. Not 10 seconds on the shot clock. Ainge throws the ball away. He was looking for Parish, but he threw it away. So on the turnover, the Lakers can cut the Celtic lead to 1 with 9.5 minutes, plenty of time remaining.
Parish zigged when he should have zagged that time on the Ainge pass.
It's Byron Scott to Wilkes, and now they turn it over that way. Couple of turnovers, and Riley off the bench. Neither one of these coaches, Riley or Casey Jones, get very excited the way my partner used to when he coached.
I lost my credit cards one time jumping up.
Parish going over McAdoo. And Robert Parish has 14 points. The Lakers are going to come back with their iron. Abdul-Jabbar and Magic Johnson momentarily. Ainge is on Byron Scott, the rookie. Bird on Wilkes. McAdoo and Parish. And here's McAdoo going in, and the basket will count, and will get the foul too. So there was a one-on-one challenge, and McAdoo won it.
Well, that's speed. McAdoo got the real speed advantage on Parish. Parish got to respect the outside shot, which sets up the easy drive for McAdoo, and he gets clobbered going in there.
Foul is on Parish, his third. The only player on the game in foul trouble is Dennis Johnson, who's been on the bench with 5 personal fouls. McAdoo gets the 3-point play to bring the Lakers to within 2. And there's Dennis Johnson, big guard. So now Magic Johnson and Kareem back in the lineup. McAdoo, Cooper, and Worthy. Good start and good 5 out there for LA. Bird gets fouled and gets helped up by Michael Cooper.
Michael Cooper knows how tough a job it is to guard Larry Bird. And I don't think anybody guards Larry Bird or gives him a tougher job than Michael Cooper.
Why does he do such a good job?
Because he uses his quickness. He's got the ability and the tenacity to try and deny him the possession of the ball. And he's got the better foot speed to, when he gets by him, to catch up with him.
Larry Bird has 20 points in this ball game. But he's had to struggle for the 20.